watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The showdown over the BBC documentary on the 2002 Gujarat riots continues as university campuses have become the battleground to screen the banned series. Today, Ambedkar University students staged protests claiming that electricity was cut by the administration during the screening of the documentary. Drama also unfolded at the Madras University campus with student groups demanding the screening of the documentary. Meanwhile, the NSUI, Bhim Army and other student organizations were planning to screen the documentary at Delhi University, but the university administration denied permission. Many students protested at the arts faculty and were detained. At Presidency College in Kolkata, there was a power cut in the common room which stopped the screening of the documentary. On Thursday, JNU students held a march claiming that the ABVP students pelted stones during the BBC documentary screening, while in Telangana, CPM's student wing, SFI, screened the second part of the documentary series at the Hyderabad University campus. In the wake of the documentary, many questions have been raised that it presents a skewed view of the Gujarat riots, namely ignoring the details of the investigation, which ultimately exonerated Prime Minister Modi. The government has made the argument that it is propaganda and the ban aims to prevent a law and order situation. The big question that emerges now is this politics in the garb of dissent that has gripped campuses across the country? And let me go straight to two of these campuses where the protests are being held. Kamalika Sen Gupta is joining me live from the Presidency College in Kolkata. We also have Shireen Elizabeth from Delhi University. I'm going to begin with you, Shireen. Section 144 imposed in Delhi University, but the situation is really not in control or under control. Why are the students even continuing with their protest? I mean, what is this need to have a big screening?
Well, Maria, this is one question that we have asked to the Jamia students as well when they were attempting to screen the BBC documentary, the JNU students as well, and today our Delhi University as well. All these students have been saying is that this is a denial of our freedom of expression, this is infringement of our freedom of expression. We want to watch the movie, hence such movies, art forms in the form of movies should not be banned or blocked. Now, like you rightly pointed out, the situation in Delhi University was in fact out of control. Since 4 p.m., there were several attempts, calls that was made by student organization like the NSUI, Kerala Students Unit, the Bhim Army, the fraternity movement. All of them were attempting to screen the movie, the BBC documentary over here, but that was denied completely by the Delhi University administration, also by Delhi police. Now, I just want to show you what is the situation over here. You can see the section 144 is imposed, though the situation at the moment is under control. All the students have, in fact, almost 25 of the students have been detained, and no students at the moment present in the campus or outside the campus, in the premises of the campus. But the presence of the Delhi police continues to be in large number. That is to ensure that no student enter here and does a screening of the BBC documentary. Now, Delhi University has in fact given a written permission to all the Delhi police personnel here that they can enter the campus and push away the students out. But that was not needed because by that time the situation was under control and the protests and the screening, all of them came to an end here.
Since it has become an ideological, battle between the two political parties or ideology, playing out between the left and the right, and Kamalika, campuses in Bengal have been battlegrounds of sorts where these ideological battle lines are very, very sharp. And it is playing out again here in Presidency College, which has had a long history again. But question here is, if the students want to see it, they can see it on their phones. Nobody stops them from doing so. But when it is about large-scale screening, if it has been banned, then why are the students insisting on it? How is it really freedom to watch content?
Maria would like to first show, right now we are, the screening is over, but you can see the students of Presidency Universities with me, they are still protesting, they are putting the slogans of Azadi, Manovat se Azadi, and also Sarfaroshi ki Tamal. So today the screening started, and suddenly there was a power cut. After that, there was constantly protest. After which there was again the power was restored, and then they showed the first part of BBC Decode documentary. But would like to actually talk to the students and put your question that why you all are actually showing the documentary to the people when you can see it in phone. Why are you projecting?
Because the ban that they have imposed is how they want to change India into. The ban is everything that BJP stands for, and our act of defiance, our screening is everything that India stands for, that presidency stands for, that we stand for. The idea of India that is getting tarnished by the BJP, we want to show them that criticism is how India has responded to politics and to different kinds of movement. So whenever they will try to stop us from criticizing the government, we will definitely stand strong on our ground and we will show them that this is how India is supposed to be.
Very strong in their point. We're again going to ask another student. She's the president of ASFI out here, Anandarupa. Why this protest now also?
We had planned to organize the screening today, and the authorities did not cooperate with us and did not give us any kind of permission. But still we came together and we arranged for the technical stuff that is required, and we came together to watch this documentary. But then in the middle, after half an hour had passed, the authority had suddenly cut off the power. So when there was the power cut, it was just in the room where the screening was being done. It was the general common room, which is for the students, and it is the place where students organize their activities. But still the power cut had happened only in the general common room. But for the rest of the university, the lights were on. After that, we had approached to the dean, and the dean was very indifferent to our demands, and it was completely understandable from the way the dean talked that the dean did not want to restore the power cut. But then all the students, they came to the dean, they approached the office
So
of the
you
dean.
showed the first part of the documentary. Will you going to show the second part also? When?
Yes, we will show the second part after the classes resume from the working days of 30th and the 31st of January.
You're going to continue to show that in other places also apart from the university?
Apart from this university, Students Federation of India has already shown this documentary in various other universities of our country, and we will continue doing that in the rest of the parts.
So Maria, you can see that there is this left lineage always there
Yes.
in the universities like Presidency and Jadavpur. And right now as I'm talking to you, Jadavpur University is also showing the documentary, and they are firm that they are going to protest, they are going to continue this screening everywhere, not only in the universities but also in various
Would you not say that this is unnecessary? I would say that these students should be going back to books perhaps and reading what really has been said by the Supreme Court of India. Kamalika and Shireen, thank you so much. So let's decode. First of all, let me tell the viewers that this has been banned, the screening has been banned by the centre under Section 16 of the IT Rules 2021. So none of the campuses can really screen it in a big way. So what is this clash? Is this clearly not an unnecessary clash? So let's decode the two sides of this clash. Here is what the students are claiming, that this documentary series is not banned entirely and they cannot be stopped from screening it. What they ignore is that this documentary series has been taken down as per Rule 16 of the IT Rules 2021. What the students are claiming is that the screening blacked out stone pelting by BJP student wing, that is the ABVP. What they are ignoring or forgetting is that the centre had warned of potential law and order situation, and that's what is planning out in most universities where this is being screened. What students are claiming is that the government censorship what people of this country can watch. What they are ignoring again is that documentary series undermines exoneration of Prime Minister Modi by the top court of India, that is the Supreme Court. What students are claiming is that university campuses are cradles of expression and free speech. What they are ignoring as per the government is that this is malicious propaganda and cannot be pushed in the garb of freedom and speech and expression. Joining me now, Lord Rummy Ranger is the chairman of British Sikh Association and member of House of Lords. He's joining me from London. Rohit Kumar is president ABVP of JNU. Rahul Ishwar, author and an activist. Vivek Srivastav, left leader. And Saira Shah Halim is a writer and activist. Lord Ranger, I'm going to begin with you. Is the BBC, which is the state broadcaster, fast losing its credibility? Not only is this documentary sensational, is factually incorrect?
Absolutely. First of all, BBC, by bringing 20-year-old story, has achieved the desired result in India. They wanted to divide India. They have succeeded in dividing Indians in India. So that is the smartness of BBC. And I tell you, I have already made a very strong protest. BBC job is not to create division in humanity, but try to bring people together rather than just sensationalizing these stories of 20, 22 years old. So I'm very disappointed with BBC, but they have achieved their objective in India. And I think we should not have banned this screening of these documentaries. Let people decide, because people are very mature, and the destiny of Indian and Hindus and Muslims are interlinked. They are together, and that's why they should really remain united and make sure that no third power like the
But
one which
Lord
came
Ranger,
in 1947
how are you
and
and
divided us.
those who have had Indian connection, members in the House of Lords, planning to raise this? Because if the British Prime Minister says that this kind of depiction is factually incorrect, doesn't represent what the Britain government believes in at present, then and still if the BBC is continuing with its documentary screening, the second part is out, then what are you planning to do?
Well, we are going to, I've already done a very strong letter to the chairman of the BBC, the chief of the editorial board, that this was a very sinister move to bring this documentary at this time when India assumed the presidency of G20. We are talking about free trade agreement. We have a prime minister of Indian origin in the number 10 Downing Street. We are progressing. We are deepening our relationship. Trade is increasing, cooperation and security concerns are being shared together all over the world. And to bring this documentary ill-timed, ill-judged, has caused more damage than good. And I appeal to the Muslim population of India that it is their country. They should not allow a foreign body to come like they did come in and divided us in 1947. And the consequences of that division are being felt even today. And we are now
let's try and understand why is it continuing in campuses. Lord Ranger, continue to be with us. I'm going to come back to you, sir, in just a few minutes. Rohit, the point here is that campuses are about multiple views. They can look at these documentary and understand that there is also a Supreme Court verdict. If it's about sensationalization, then students can make that wise choice that yes, this is factually incorrect. Then why go overboard in banning it? Rohit, if you can hear me, ABVP protest क्यों कर रही है? Okay, we'll try and fix that line with Rohit. Vivek Srivastava, okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
First of all, the BBC, which is अपने आप में जो औपनिवेशिक कॉलोनियल संस्था है, उसके ऊपर सवाल उठना चाहिए। और सबसे पहली बात, जो बार बार जिस स्वस्थ लोकतंत्र में जिस चीज की बार बार चर्चा हो चुकी है, जो एस्टेब्लिश हो चुका है, नानावटी कमीशन रहे हो, एसआईटी हो या अन्य इन्वेस्टिगेशंस रहे हो, जिस चीज पे एक बार चर्चा हो चुकी है, उस चीज को रिकअप करना बस बीबीसी इसलिए कर रही है क्योंकि भारत G20 की प्रेसिडेंसी ले रहा है, भारत विश्व कल्याण की बात कर रहा है, मानव कल्याण की बात कर रहा है, यूनाइटेड नेशंस में लीडरशिप ले रहा है। और बीबीसी कितना क्रेडिबल है, एसएफआई और बाकी संगठनों को सोचना चाहिए कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज मोर क्रेडिबल देन द बीबीसी। और दूसरी बात यह है कि अलग अलग कैंपसेस में इसका डॉक्यूमेंट्री स्क्रीनिंग करके ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ जहर फैलाने का काम कर रहे हैं और सिर्फ विद्वेष फैलाने का काम कर रहे हैं।
रोहित, चलिए हम आपकी बात मानते हैं. I'm in agreement with what you're saying, and that's why we are seeing a law and order situation happen in multiple campuses now. But my point is that the students who are watching these documentaries understand that there is truth. Where is the truth here? They understand that, you know, in this documentary there are several depictions which are factually incorrect, that it's low on facts, that it's that you know, it's as far as it's unsubstantiated. Then why not let the screenings continue, let them understand that this is wrong?
Yes, see, basic purpose, the basic intent behind this documentary is to attack India. The person who made this documentary, Jack Straw, is the same guy who lied about weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. So, see the irony. On one hand, left parties don't support that. On the other hand, they want to screen this documentary, which is already banned by the government of India. So, if you are saying that we should allow everything to go uncontrolled, which is attacking India, that is
Okay.
not good
Vivek
for our
Srivastava,
country.
Vivek Srivastava,
So
is
if
this
you
really an
want to
issue
prove there is
that
one truth
that
which
left
has
thinks
been held by the Supreme
is
Court.
an ideological push by them? I mean, how does it help them ideologically?
No, no, what is India? Are we trying to say that the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, is India? India is not Modi. India is much bigger than Modi. It's a question on his credibility and his role as the Chief Minister. And if
But
a
what do you
documentary is
believe
being
in?
made and
Will you be believing in Supreme
Yeah.
Court of India, or will you be believing in this documentary which has been put out?
No, it is not a question of believing. It is a question of freedom of expression. I may not believe in Kashmir files. I may not believe in accidental Prime Minister, which is showing Dr. Manmohan Singh in a very bad light. But however, it is a movie that was made and it was shown. So, I mean, you cannot start questioning the right of expression of every artist, every anchor, every TV channel. Everything has to be pro-Modi. Everything has to be pro-BJP. Only then you're a nationalist. This is wrong. The government has got a guilt conscience. Prime Minister Modi is guilty conscious. And that is why he has banned this documentary from being screened.
You know,
And in case,
first of all,
and-
since you have disagreements on Kashmir files, you have expressed your views on accidental Prime Minister. Those are not the same as this one, where there has been multiple SITs, all of them exonerating the Prime Minister. Only recently, if you look at what the Supreme Court said, it said clear. No, one moment, Vivek Srivastava. Let's go with the apex court, because you all quote the judgments of the Supreme Court. In its 452-page judgment, the Supreme Court clearly said that allegations against Mr. Modi and others were ultra sensational revelations made by officers like Sanjeev Bhatt, Harin Pandya and others. In the words of the court, it was to sensationalize and politicize the matter, which is it is in fact full of falsehood. That's what the Supreme Court said. Should we go with Supreme Court or the BBC?
No. I support the freedom of expression. If the court has said something, it doesn't mean that people stop talking about it. The court has not
So you
said,
don't believe in the
write
Supreme
about
Court
it.
of India?
The court has-
And you do
No,
not believe
please,
that
I
there
mean,
were 20 years of investigation?
Let me clarify.
Mr. Modi was questioned for 8 and 9 hours for days.
The court has not stopped Maria Shakil from criticizing the Gujarat Royals. It has not stopped Maria Shakil as an anchor.
No. I'm not. The Modi question. What is the name of the movie? India, the Modi question. I would like to bring in Rahul Ishwar. Rahul Ishwar, please respond.
Paraji, 2 points. One, I have the highest regard for BBC. I had the privilege to be a part of 5 to 6 BBC discussion. We in media consider BBC a gold standard. But let me say with great regret that BBC, or at least some people in them, have done a kind of hit job on PM Modi ji and India. That's very unfortunate. See, BBC is a respectable organization, but we all know they have a left liberal bias, even admitted by their own BBC chief, saying that we need to have an anti-bias training. So BBC has done a very wrong, shoddy, less researched, rumor-filled propaganda piece, and that pains me as a media person who respects BBC too. Second, please remember, it is not about Modi. It is not about any person. It is about India and our PM. If somebody is trying to demonize, demean, kind of attack us with falsehoods, half-truths, that is absolutely wrong. Please remember, just one more line. Had it been for any other Prime Minister in this position, maybe tomorrow Congress will come, tomorrow another party may come, we should not allow our highest office to be attacked by the Britishers because they have some kind of a grudge. That is absolutely unnecessary. Just one more line.
You know, Vivek, and this is a question also to Saira Shah Aleem.
One more line.
My
Please
team
remember,
has
these are all
seen
trained
this
from India.
documentary and they have some questions to ask. Why does the documentary accuse the Prime Minister of endorsing genocide? Why does this documentary claim Muslims are being targeted as a state-sponsored genocide which was done under the then Gujarat Chief Minister? Why are there no interviews of families of the Godhra train attack victims? Why does the documentary claim Prime Minister Modi has not spoken against hatred? It's factually incorrect. If anything, this documentary, let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. We have seen enough and more investigation which has been carried out for good 25 years. And if still there is a broadcaster of a country which comes out with a documentary which is inaccurate, which is on falsehood, then it cannot be screened in campuses of India. Saira Shahli.
So I'd like to say one thing very clearly, Maria. The BBC documentary examines the role of Mr. Narendra Modi during the Gujarat 2002 pogrom. Here, let's not forget the courts might have exonerated him. However, the ghost of 2002 will keep lurking behind Mr. Modi and his party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, because under his watchful eyes, more than 2,000 people were massacred and the police simply stood by. So that cannot be exonerated. The courts might exonerate you. However, the people's conscience.
No.
This is very sad.
Saira, you know, when you talk about a documentary and a fictional movie, let's be clear, is this fiction now? My question, that is the team is being asked, because, you know, we are going with what has been shown in this documentary. The documentary completely doesn't show about the fact. The fact is that the highest court of India, the Supreme Court, has exonerated Mr. Modi. How do we forget? How do we forget? No, one moment. Let's go with the facts. Let's go with the facts. You can talk about people's court, you can talk about conscience and everything, but let's go with the facts here. And we believe in the Supreme Court, the law of the land. The Supreme Court says...
Even I also believe in the Supreme Court,
Yes.
Maria. Here I'm talking about something else.
Yes, please go ahead.
What I'm saying is, if the government would not have banned the documentary, it wouldn't have created such a furore the way it is creating right now. Right now, had the government allowed it to get screened and also answer difficult questions, I think they would have been in a much better position, because here we are not a vigilant state as yet. We are not a police state as yet. We are a democracy, and I think dissent is the safety valve of.
No, but how is there a dissent here?
Healthy democracy.
There has been investigation, multiple investigation, multiple commissions. All of them have set up. You know, there are something which is very interesting. And because I think it's important to understand that this documentary, why are we saying that they have ignored facts? There is another aspect. The documentary claims there were conflicting reports behind charges against Modi. Why were they not disclosed?
So
The question is, why does the documentary claim Prime Minister Modi had not spoken about hatred? Why were Supreme Court observations ignored? I mean, let's be clear, if you're talking about a documentary, not a work of fiction, then you have to put out all the sides.
No, I get what you're saying, Maria. What I'm saying is,
Yes.
in the documentary, there is a question that is asked to Mr. Modi, what is something that you could have done better in 2002? He flatly answers, I could have better handled the media. He could have said that I should have given strict instruction to my police to be absolutely impartial and take strict action against the rioters. But there was, you know, why his role is being questioned is because the police simply stood by.
But Saira, in fact, the Supreme Court says, that the police officers like R.B. Sri Kumar, Sanjeev Bhatt and Mr. Pandya, in the words of the court, sensationalized and politicized the matter, and what they said was falsehood. My question then is that if there is no conspiracy, then why should he be made to answer the same thing in the People's Court?
See, I'll tell you why. When democracy is being broken down bit by bit, when dissent is being silenced, when students are being made the enemy of the state, there has to be a foreign channel, a foreign media house that goes across the world and covers genocides, covers war crimes, covers riots, covers...
Okay, Rahul Ishwar will respond. Rahul Ishwar?
See, Sarah ji, just one submission with due respect to you.
Yes,
One submission
Rahul Ishwar.
with due respect to you.
Yes.
Just one submission with due respect to you. Please remember, when we use words, we should be very cautious. What happened in 2002 was extremely painful, and we as a nation are trying to get over it. What happened in 2002, Godhra and Gujarat, or Babri Masjid, or 84 Sikh riots, we should heal our wounds, not rub salt into it, not pain it more, not provoke people more. We are right now having much more harmonious sabka saath relationships. Yes, we do have problems, but British is again trying to divide and rule. British is again playing their old playbook. We should not fall for the British. We should not fall for the British agenda of dividing us again.
My friend, I'm sure you'll agree with me that people, whoever it is, cannot be allowed to walk away with impunity. Any other countries, this would have been treated as a war crime. And the highest court, the highest office would have been made.
It is painful that you are using words like war crime. It's painful that you are using words like war crime. There was a very unfortunate riot. Our Indians lost their life.
Okay.
How
I
are
have
you
just
using
enough
words
time
like war crime?
for a few words from Rohit Kumar, and then I'll give the final word to Lord Rami Ranger. Rohit Kumar, ABVP is protesting. SFI wants screening. If anything, the campuses have become, the new battleground for this movie. The question is, will this stop? Or is ABVP of the opinion that this should not be screened and they'll do anything to stop the screening?
No, first of all, we don't have any. हम लोग ऐसे किसी भी चर्चा में हिस्सा नहीं लेंगे जिसमें भारत के खिलाफ बातें की गई हो, जिसमें सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के फैसले का अपमान किया गया हो। दूसरी बात, आपके पैनलिस्ट बोल रहे थे कि बीबीसी बहुत क्रेडिबल है, मैं उसकी रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं, परंतु बीबीसी के ही तमाम जो हेड्स रहे हैं, जो उनके अधिकारी रहे हैं, वो बाद में आके किताबें निकालते हैं कि बीबीसी कैसे झूठ को प्रोपेगेट करती है। इस तरीके से बीबीसी के 1970 में इंदिरा गांधी की सरकार ने उनके ऑफिस को पैक कराया था। दूसरी बात, जो भी व्यक्ति भारत के खिलाफ बातें करेगा उसको बैन तो करना ही चाहिए। और अगर शायरा साहलीम इस बात को सपोर्ट करती है कि बीबीसी की डॉक्यूमेंट्री को खुला छूट देना चाहिए, तो उसी रूप से जो सैटेनिक वर्सेस है उस पर भी बैन हटाने की बात उनको करनी चाहिए थी। तो ये आयरनी क्यों ये लाते हैं? एक जगह पे एक चीज को बैन करो, दूसरी जगह पे वो समाज में विद्वेष पैदा करेगा। तो जिस तरीके से भारत की छवि को धूमिल करने की कोशिश की जा रही है बीबीसी के द्वारा, और भारत के शीर्ष नेतृत्व पे अटैक किया जा रहा है, और पूरे भारत पे ही नहीं, भारत के जो गणतंत्र है, जो हमारी रिपब्लिक है, एक तरीके से एक दिन पीछे ही हम श्रमिक वर्ग का सम्मान कर रहे हैं, विश्व कल्याण की बातें कर रहे हैं, वैक्सीन सभी देशों को पहुंचा रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे जो जहां पे भी लोग थे उनको सपोर्ट करने की बातें कर रहे हैं, हर तरीके से सबके उत्थान की बात कर रहे हैं। वो उसी के कारण से, चूंकि भारत 5 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है,
how are we forgetting that the BBC chairman, Mr. Richard Sharp, and his role is being investigated right now? How do we forget basic facts in this case?
Yes.
Lord Rami Ranger, come in on this now, and I'll give you the final words. We are seeing what happened in Westminster when questions were raised by a member of parliament who has visible Pakistan leaning. There is a larger conspiracy that is being talked about by people like you who say that this is linked to India's G20 presidency. The larger question then is that will UK be banning BBC documentary, or will they be just continuing with it with just some sharp reactions coming in from the Prime Minister?
First of all, we have to understand, in a democracy the size of India, Mr. Modi can't please everyone. The very fact you have voices of different opinions shows India is a very vibrant democracy where public opinion matters, and we should allow people to express their opinion. That's the part of democracy. The majority people have voted for Mr. Modi. They have given him mandate not once, but second time with increased majority that he is doing something right. Why Muslim women are voting for Mr. Modi? Why Muslims are with Mr. Modi? Because Mr. Modi has to carry the entire country with him. No country can move while leaving behind any section of its population. So therefore, we together as Indians have to move forward. We have to understand what is good for India. Modi may not be good for some people, but is he good for India? India is more important than personalities. Mr. Modi is here today. He may not be here tomorrow, but India will be there. It has been there for 6,000-7,000 years, and the Muslims play a very important role. They enrich our culture. They enrich our country. therefore, we have to respect each and every community, but at the same time, we have to respect each other's view. But the India as an overhaul, unity of India must come first and every turn if we are to remain a credible force in the world as we are going forward as number fifth economy, becoming very strong, respected by not only Russia, Putin, but also by Biden. That is the supreme diplomacy of Prime Minister Modi. Let's give the devil his due. He can't do everything right. So he's not, a God. So we are all human beings. I make
Lord Ranger,
mistakes, you make
I'm trying
mistakes.
to understand, will, leaders like you, members of parliament like you, be raising the fact that this documentary, the details that has come in the context of of BBC chairman Richard Sharp actually strengthens India's case that this, if anything, BBC stands compromised?
There are a lot of protests being organized, and I will be raising in Parliament question also because it was one-sided documentary. Only picked up people who were anti-Modi. Because remember, if I'm designing something, with a motive to discredit the Prime Minister of India, then I will go out of the way to find the evidence, find the narrative which fulfills my objective of creating
right.
that documentary. This documentary, as you know, is biased. It has no credibility. So
All right.
you Indian, you can express your view, but don't damage your country because at the end of the day, our unity is what makes us a strong, credible force.
Lord Ranger, thank you so much for your time. Rohit Kumar, Saira Shah Halim, Vivek Srivastav and Rahul Ishwar. The question before the protesters certainly is, should they believe the Supreme Court of India, which has said clearly that there was no conspiracy here, which has exonerated Prime Minister Modi, or should they continue with what clearly is visibly a propaganda piece by one of the state broadcaster, that is the BBC, which has clearly lost its credibility as well. We are slipping into a short break. Up next, the Pathan Express enters the 200 crore club in just 2 days. Has the boycott brigade been silenced? That debate when I return. Stay with us.